Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's video. Day 10 will take us to 23rd of January, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the GFS and ECM ensembles. They run to around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks, and that gets us well into February. I shall get on with that for you in a moment. Just to say that first, a video already say was our 6M UK weather forecast, and we'll also release weekend forecast as well. You can check out those two vids if you'd like to do that. Like, share, subscribe on all today's videos and content, and thank you so much everyone for doing that. So what is coming up for you this evening around 7 to half 7, have a look at the risk anyway of some snow next week from these Arctic northerlies. Now I'm going to say thank you so much to my good friend. Oh, by the way, about the live stream last night, so I had to cancel the live stream yesterday evening. I had a lot of blurriness in my eyes. Long-term regular viewers will know I have a eye condition that I've had since 2013-14 actually, long time now. When I had shingles, that's the first thing that happened, went into my eyes. It left me with long-term eye complaints and conditions. So the eyes, you know, they flare up and they settle down and they flare up. This time of year they do tend to flare a little bit more because of the colder, drier weather and whatnot, and I think that's what's happening at the moment. So I've been very blurry with the vision, and I took the night off last night, so I'm so sorry for anybody that wanted to see the pub run live stream last night, and it should be back next Friday. We will be live streaming tomorrow, by the way, at 6 PM, but I'll talk you through tomorrow's content at the end of this video. Those very sorry about that. Right, I'm going to say thank you so much to my good friend Jane Gregory. Thank you so much, Jane, for giving a super thanks to me and to GavsWeatherVids on Thursday's epic video. It wasn't epic. We had like 9,000 video views on Thursday, 10 to 14 day. Thank you so much, everybody, for that. But as I say, Jane gave us a super thanks. Thank you so much, Jane, for your super thanks. That's incredibly kind of you. If you'd like to give a super thanks to GavsWeatherVids, you can find the thanks button either underneath the video player here on YouTube or behind the three little dots just there, and it will flag up your comment. I'll pin it and that'll give you a shout out in a subsequent video. So thank you so much to Jane, and thank you so much to all of our super thankers, super chatters, channel members, however you support the channel. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for doing that. Right, okay, we're going to start off with the video. We're going to begin with the Arctic Oscillation Observed and Forecast. So the black line here from NOAA shows where we've been with the Arctic Oscillation, the AO, the red lines at the end, where the GFS Ensembles are forecasting the AO to go. Now, we are negative with the Arctic Oscillation at the moment, and have been since the new year, and are predicted to stay negative with the Arctic Oscillation as well over the next few days. However, as we come towards the last stage of January, last week of the month, we see that the AO is predicted to go into weekly positive territory. So remember, it's always the index, it's always weather that's driving the index. So if the AO is negative, such as it is at the moment, then we've got considerable levels of high latitude blocking. We've got high pressure over the Arctic and over the North Pole. The reverse, when the AO is positive, we're going to have lower pressure or low pressure over the Arctic and over the North Pole. So blocking is a route getting cold out of the pole and down into the mid latitudes. Of course, where that blocking sits determines who is going to get the cold conditions. So we've got the AO currently negative but going into more positive territory later in January. The NAO looks like this. Again, the black line shows where we've been with the North Atlantic Oscillation, red lines at the end where the GFS ensembles are forecasting the North Atlantic Oscillation go. Again, we see that we are in negative territory with the NAO right now, predicted to stay in negative territory as well for the next week or so. We do find that the NAO is likely to lift up into weekly positive territory though as we go into the final week of January. So with both the indexes currently negative, that is why we can expect cold weather in the coming days, because we are going to see blocking conditions in a setup that allows that blocking to deliver cold weather to the north of Europe and western parts of Europe. However, by the sort of last week of January, we've got both of the indexes going positive. This is telling us about that we are likely to see a return to Atlantic-driven, westerly, low-pressure dominated weather. So going from cold and dry to milder and wetter potentially through the last week of the month. We see it's very nicely on the 500 millibar height anomaly flow charts from the Penn State University for the 7 to 10 day time frame. Got the ECMWF here on the top. And the GFS is down there on the bottom. So 500 millibars, 80,000 feet, is an area in the atmosphere. High pressure and low pressure are being moved around by the jet stream running above. Red extrapolates the high pressure, blue to low pressure. So we can see very clearly that we've got above average heights, high pressure, down across Spain. And we've got low pressure to the north of Scotland. And winds are coming in from a generally westerly direction in the 7 to 10 day time frame. So a return of the onslaught potential, return of the Atlantic onslaught. GFS very similar. Again, we see deep low pressure in the Atlantic. In the 7 to 10 day time frame, in comes those west-southwesterly winds. Notice low pressure up towards Greenland as well, so the blocking is reducing. That's why the AO is going back to more positive territory as well. So it's all signalling a return of the westerlies there for the last week to 10 days of January. CT is currently sitting at 4.6. That is 0.8 of a degree above the 61 to 99 average. That's provisional to yesterday, to the 12th of January. That's going to come down in the coming few days. I reckon by the end of next week, that will probably be in the 2s. It will be interesting to see how quickly that comes down, with some really quite sharp and significant overnight frost expected. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles next couple of weeks with Leicester today. Another suggested location for this part of the video. The red line is a 30-year upper air temperature average for Leicester. We're starting off above, well, near north to slightly above average at the moment. It's downhill all the way through the next few days, though, becoming colder than average, with upper air temperatures ranging between around -5 and -10 at 850 HPA. So a proper old cold plunge is on the way. Check out Weekend Forecast for more about that. Of course, we've got Snow Watch coming up this evening. However, we have a recovery in the upper air temperatures going on there as we go into the last week or so of the month. We find the upper air temperature coming back up and potentially even going milder than average when we get into the final sort of week or so of January. Could end the month as we started it on a relatively mild note. Precipitation wise, it's looking pretty dry for the next few days, so although it's cold, it will be relatively dry. As it turns more unsettled, then we find the precipitation spikes coming back, so it could well be turning wetter as we go through the third week and into the final week of January. Snow road Leicester looking like that. Few snow spikes, not much going on. Bit disappointing really from a snow perspective at the moment from this Arctic blast. As I said, there's a few snow spikes there, but compared to how it looked a few days ago, when there was the possibility that we might have seen that area of low pressure, now it's going to track into France on Wednesday and Thursday. We might have had that, further northwards and brought a significant disruptive survey at the Met, and the BBC were ramping that up a few days ago. I thought that was a bit silly for them to do that, but that's up to them, isn't it? We certainly didn't ramp it up here on the GavsWeatherVids channel. These lows very often do track to our south in the end, but maybe it'll get pushed back north again, who knows. But one or two of those ensemble members I think probably are producing a snow event just there, but generally it looks a little bit mediocre from a snow perspective through central parts of England. However, we're going to have a look at all of that on Snow Watch tonight. Right, temperature anomalies from the 13th to 21st of January, coming out colder than average, not just for the UK but through most parts of Europe. And precipitation anomalies from the 13th to 21st of January, drier than average in the south and wetter than average up in the north. Latest Windflow Map from knowleschool.net shows that the northerly Arctic blast is starting to set in. Northern winds are heading towards the far north of Scotland. If we drag the map down, there we go. We can see that the northerly is a very long fetch. It actually goes all the way back to the Arctic. So let's drag it down a little bit further. So look at that. That really is a long fetch normally. There's the Arctic Circle up there. And those northern winds are coming all the way from there down into the country. So if you think it's chilly at the moment, wait until Monday. It will be bitterly cold by then. Okay, let's start going through the chart data there. Missed our latest UK Met Euro run. It's looking for midnight on Tuesday. A little trough of low pressure south of Iceland could bring some snow into the northern parts of the country on Tuesday. Bounced below about a couple of days ago. Looked like it could bring a significant snow event to England and Wales. It looks like that's got Biscay and France in its sight rather than us, where it goes zipping through France into Germany on from Wednesday to Thursday. Leaves us in those very cold northerly winds, though, of course. Then the high pressure continues to slip southwards as we go from Friday into the weekend, and that starts to re-establish a westerly flow. Back come the Atlantic westerlies potentially for next weekend. Icon again keeps us cold through, or has us cold through the middle part of next week. Back low, I'm afraid. If you wanted back to bring a survey to lowland southern England, it still could do, might get pushed up towards us, but at the moment it's going through Biscay and into France, leaving us in those cold northerly winds. Northerly winds might deliver some snow showers if we get a trough or something, banding them together. By Friday, the high pressure is slipping south, we're losing the blocking, low pressure deepening in the Atlantic, so next weekend turns milder, wetter and windier, with low pressure sweeping in from off the Atlantic. The KMA from South Korea looks like that. Again, we've got that low pressure zipping from Biscay into France. It isn't that far away from getting into southern England, but just doesn't get far enough north to bring significant snow into southern parts of England. Leaves us cold with northerly winds throughout most of the coming week, but by next weekend the westerlies are returning, and look at this, it's only stormy actually as we get through to around the 22nd, 23rd of January, proper old windstorm there, and we keep that Atlantic onslaught going then up to the 25th of January. The battery, the onslaught is back, the deluge is back potentially for the last week or so of January. This is our GFS midnight run. It's looking cold through much of the coming few days. Winds in from the north. That low is going into France through the middle part of the week. Weekend sees a change, wet and windy weather with this area of low pressure sweeping in from off the Atlantic, and then we're off and running into what looks like quite a stormy spell of weather for the last week of the month. A little bit of an attempt of high pressure, some colder weather there. Now 27th of January, that doesn't last. The next low is racking through. We're back to high pressure around France, Spain, Portugal, low pressure around Greenland, Iceland, and drawing up those southwesterly winds. But GFS 6 said run, all much of a muchness through the middle part of the week. That low is just a little bit further northwards on the GFS 6 there, so maybe threatening some snow to the extreme south of the country around Wednesday. But we've got to get that low further north to bring a proper snow event to England and Wales. It wants to take that sort of track. It doesn't look like it's on at the moment, but still a couple of days for that to possibly trade northwards. In any case, we're left cold and wintry throughout much of the coming week, but by the end of the week and weekend turns stormy, severe gales, heavy rain sweeping across the country. Probably snow initially in the north. It'll turn back to rain though, so those westerlies tuck back in. And then heading up to day 10, another deep area of low pressure, bring more stormy conditions there around the 23rd of January. A little bit colder there for the 24th, a little bit of a cold snap as that low pressure exits eastwards, but essentially we're still driving the weather in from the Atlantic, looking very mild as we come towards month's end, possibly with a build of pressure going on across West Europe. Where that high pressure goes will be interesting. If that starts to reach northwards, we might find ourselves going back to colder weather into early February. There is some suggestion of that being at some of the model output, though by no means all. Right, if you enjoyed the video, please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. Thanks so much everyone for doing that. We only need to put on around 30 subscribers now to get to 17.8k. So if you could give us a sub and tell your friends and family to subscribe, it would be incredible. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Could we get to 18k before the end of this winter? Wouldn't that be epic if we could? Thank you so much. Right, okay, this is our BGM. It's looking again. We're in these northwesterly winds on Tuesday, looking quite cold as we go into the middle part of the week. Low pressure down towards northern Spain and Biscay, so that just keeps us in those cold northerlies with GM through into the end of the week. High pressure then reaching in across the country Friday to Saturday. That high pressure isn't slipping south as quickly though with the GM, so actually into next weekend we keep it quite cold, especially in the south and that area of high pressure. It does start to turn a bit milder out to the north and west, but for England and Wales, the high pressure actually keeps it quite cold into next weekend. However, the mild weather does get even into the south by the end of the gem run, which gets us 23rd of January. We're all in milder air then, coming up from the southwest, and then the ECM, but much less stormy, much less wet and windy with the GM, and then onto the ECM again, looking very cold, winds in from the north through the course of the coming week. Low pressure that might have delivered a survey, could still deliver a survey to the south. On the ECM midnight run is around Biscay, northern Spain again, not affecting us and bringing that snow in. We get to the end of the coming week, stays cold, but then by Saturday, milder, wetter, windier weather setting back in from off the Atlantic, and then up to date, looking really very mild actually, with winds in from the southwest, bring the air up from the Azores, but also pretty wet and windy as well. Look at the upper air temperatures for day 10, very mild, plus 10 Celsius iceberg down in the south. That could get the temperature into mid-teens Celsius. What a topsy-turvy winter this is turning into, isn't it? So this is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from meteo.com. Income to cold air and shower down to snow in the north and around the coastal fringes in the next couple of days. Beginning of next week could bring some snow into Scotland to Northern Ireland. That's persistent snow up there, of course. Just generally saying very cold, wintry really, as we go through the next few days. But into the weekend, those start bringing that milder air in from off Atlantic. Rain, perhaps preceded by a little bit of snow in the north initially, and then we're into properly wet and windy weather as we move up towards day 10. These are the options on the table within the ECM Ensembles today for day 10. Gets us 23rd of January. 19 members of the ECM Ensembles, including the control and the operational run, with low pressure to the north, high pressure is down to south, and winds coming in from a mild west-southwesterly direction at day 10. 17, again, low pressure in from the north, winds in from off the Atlantic, and 15 with low pressure to the north. High pressure a little bit more strongly from the Azores, but all options are mild at day 10 now within the ECM Ensembles. And then in 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. Look away now if you want cold weather. We've got, it gets to 28th of January. 18 members of the ECM Ensembles, low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south. We bring wind in from west-southwesterly direction. 10, again, high pressure is to the south, low pressure is to the north. Winds maybe a little bit more northwesterly, so slightly cooler, but still mild, really. 10, low pressure again to the northwest, high pressure to the southwest. Again, in comes those westerly winds. We've got 9 just here, which are ridging up high pressure from the south, mainly dry and very mild. And we've got 4 with low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south, but again, winter coming up from west or southwest direction. All options are looking mild at day 10 and day 14. And then finally, we've got the CFS V2. It's a 500 millibar height anomalies, breaking down into week periods. The first week period takes from the 13th to the 18th of January. Next week looks cold. High pressure's out to the north and northwest. Low pressure is to the east and south. Winter coming in from that cold northeasterly direction. Week 2, it's all change. It's going to be the 20th, 26th of January. We lose a block and we bring low pressure in from off the Atlantic. We're back into milder, wetter and windier weather. Week 3 sees another change. It's 27th of January, 2nd of February. Low pressure over and slightly to the east of the country, and high pressure begins to build back towards Greenland. High pressure also towards Spain. So the high pressure towards Spain wants to keep the wind in for west-southwest, but the high pressure around Greenland wants to turn the wind back into colder northerly. So that could be a bit of a transitional week. And then finally, week 4 gets us back to cold weather. It's the 3rd to the 9th of February. High pressure then around Greenland, low pressure over to the east country. Winds will be back in from a cold northerly or northeasterly direction. So we have definitely got milder weather coming, also wetter, windier weather coming, starting through next weekend and going on into the following week. How long that goes on for remains to be seen, but CFS wants to get us back to colder weather into February, so we should wait and see. Okay, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please you like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. Thanks so much everyone for doing that. 30 subscribers will get us to 17.8k. So if you could give us a sub and tell your friends about to subscribe, that'd be amazing. It'd be incredible. I mean, thanks so much everyone for doing that for us. I've got so much coming up for you tonight. So we will have a look at the show risks and possibilities. Westerlies in the coming days with snow. Watch up, be around 7, half 7 tonight. And then tomorrow, got 6am UK weather forecast, the second update for spring 2024. It will be released at 10am tomorrow. There'll be a 10 to 14 day in the afternoon, and we'll be live at 6pm with Ensembles. Watch, we'll go through the 12s there, we'll go through GFS Ensembles, and I'm sure we'll have some long range included in that as well. So keep checking back to the channel for more. But for this video, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.